My fiancée wanted to postpone the wedding until I put her name on everything I own. I smiled, accepted her condition, and turned the $15,000 banquet into an exclusive party to celebrate my freedom. 3 days later, her mother sent a lawyer to claim what no longer belonged to them. I'm Dylan Carter, I'm 33 years old, and 3 months ago I was about to marry Madison Price, 31. 2 years of relationship, 8 months engaged. Everything seemed stable, until it wasn't. For context, I bought my house 6 years ago for $285,000 and finished paying it off last year. I own a 15% stake in the family logistics company founded by my father. My brother and I handle operations, and on paper the company is worth around $900,000. I'm not a millionaire, but I live well. Car paid off, retirement accounts in order, zero debt. Madison, on the other hand, works as a dental hygienist. She earns around $58,000 a year, rents her apartment, and is still paying off her student loans. We had agreed that after the wedding, she would move in with me. In theory, it sounded logical. Everything changed one Thursday night while we were reviewing guest confirmations for the wedding. There were nearly 200. The venue was already booked. Her parents had contributed $7,000 of the $22,000 total cost. I had covered the remaining $15,000. Everything paid, everything settled. She set her wine glass on the table and dropped the bomb. Dylan, I've been thinking. I want my name on the house before the wedding. I looked up from the computer, confused. What? The house, the car, and your stake in the company. Everything should be in both our names. It's only fair if we're getting married. I stayed silent for a few seconds. Madison, we're not even married yet. Why would I do that? Because marriage means sharing everything. If you truly love me, you'd want me to feel secure. You'll feel secure when we get married. We can talk about that later, but I'm not putting your name on what I built before I met you. Oh, of course. Before me. So you expect me to live in your house, use your car, and depend on your money without any legal protection? I took a deep breath. You'd have protection. It's called marriage, and there are laws that cover that. Her voice turned cold. That's not enough, Dylan. I won't be a second-class citizen in my own marriage. Either you put my name on everything, or there's no wedding until you understand what it means to be a partner. I looked at her in disbelief. So let me get this straight. You want me to make you co-owner of a house, a car, and a business stake worth over $1 million, all acquired before I met you, or we cancel the wedding. I'm not canceling it, just postponing it until you come to your senses. Her tone had something rehearsed, like she had practiced it. I laughed without humor. Wow, what a reasonable boundary you're setting, Madison. I'm glad you see it that way, she replied with a smile, not noticing the irony. Mom said you'd argue, but she knew you'd eventually understand. And that's when I knew. It wasn't her idea. It was Linda Price's, her mother's. So, since we're postponing the wedding, I'd better reorganize a few things, I said. She nodded with satisfaction, kissed me on the cheek, and went back to her wine as if nothing had happened. As soon as I closed the door to my office, I made 3 calls. The first was to Jason Miller, my lawyer friend. I told him everything. He laughed at first, until he saw I was serious. Don't even think about it, man. If you put her name on anything, you risk losing half without even being married. It's insane. The second call was to my brother at the company. Just so you know, Madison wants her name on my share of the business. It's not going to happen, but stay alert. And the third was to the event venue. Hi, this is Dylan Carter. I have a reservation for October 12th, the Carter Price wedding. There's been a change, the bride wants to postpone it indefinitely. I'd like to transfer the reservation and the $15,000 deposit, which I paid entirely in my name, to a private event on the same day. The coordinator went silent for a moment. Mr. Carter, that's not usually our policy. I have the payment receipt. She postponed the wedding, but I still want to use the venue. I heard typing on the other end. Let me check with my manager. Can we call you back? Of course. 20 minutes later, they confirmed that since I had made the payment, they could transfer the reservation exclusively to my name. I went to sign the new paperwork the next morning. Everything was set. On October 12th, the venue would be mine for a private event. That same afternoon, I sent Madison a message. You said we'd postpone the wedding until I met your conditions. I respect your decision. Since I paid for the venue, I transferred the reservation to my name. When you're ready to make new plans, let me know. I also think we should take some time apart. Don't contact me unless it's to pick up your things. In less than a minute, she called me. 16 times. I didn't answer a single one. The next morning, her mother Linda Price showed up at my door. Dylan, we need to talk about this nonsense. Good morning, Linda. Don't good morning me. You canceled my daughter's wedding. I didn't cancel anything. She postponed it. I just adjusted my finances accordingly. You stole the venue money. Paid by me, with my card. I redirected it to a personal event. That's not theft. Are you punishing her for setting boundaries? No, Linda. I'm respecting hers. She said there'd be no wedding until I put her name on everything I own. I'm not going to do that. Therefore, there's no wedding. Simple as that. As soon as I finished telling her to leave, Linda exploded. You're selfish, controlling, she shouted before turning around and storming off to her car. She started the engine, sped off, and as she drove away, she rolled down the window to yell one last threat. You'll be hearing from our lawyer. Update. 4 days later. On Tuesday morning, I received a certified letter. It was from Hastings & Associates, a law firm. When I opened it, I almost laughed. 3 full pages of legal jargon demanding several compensations. First, they demanded the immediate return of the $15,000 venue deposit, split 50/50ths between the engaged couple. Second, they requested a $7,000 refund to Madison's parents for their contribution to a wedding that, according to them, wouldn't happen due to my unilateral decision. Third, they claimed $5,000 for emotional damages. And to top it off, a formal apology. The total came to $17,500 plus an apology. I took a photo of the letter and sent it to Jason, my lawyer. He called me back 2 minutes later, laughing hysterically. This is legal garbage, Dylan said. They have no grounds. You paid the deposit. She broke the engagement with her ultimatum, and her parents' money was a gift. Emotional damages? Please. I'll handle it. His response was a masterpiece. In the document, Jason wrote, Mr. Dylan Carter paid the full venue deposit with personal funds and has receipts to prove it. Ms. Madison Price chose to indefinitely postpone the wedding by demanding that Mr. Carter transfer a substantial portion of his premarital assets into her name, a request he declined. Therefore, no wedding is currently being planned. Mr. Carter will use the contracted venue services for a personal event. The financial contribution from Ms. Price's parents was a legally irrevocable gift. The emotional damage claim is unfounded. No funds will be sent. Any further demands will be considered harassment. He signed the document and sent it by certified mail on Wednesday. That's when the real game began. On Thursday morning, I got an unexpected call. It was Olivia, Madison's sister. What's wrong with you, Dylan? She said accusingly. Madison is devastated. Hi, Olivia, I replied calmly. Don't hi me like nothing's wrong. You're throwing away 2 years over money. I'm not throwing anything away, I replied. Your sister asked me to put her name on assets worth over $1 million before we even got married. I said no, and that was it. She just wanted to feel secure, she replied. You're being irrational. Would you marry someone and put their name on everything you own? I asked. There was an awkward silence. That's different. Why? Because you're the man. You're supposed to take care of her. I laughed in disbelief. Taking care of someone doesn't mean handing over everything you've built. That's not love, it's theft with a ceremony. You're disgusting, she said before hanging up. Friday, things spiraled out of control. I got a call from my bank's fraud department. We've detected an unauthorized attempt to access your checking account, the employee said. Someone tried to add themselves as a joint account holder using falsified documents. Can you tell me who attempted it? I asked. I'm not allowed to disclose details, but the documents included a signature supposedly yours and requested to add a Madison Price as co-holder. I didn't need to hear more. I already knew who was behind it. The morning started like any other, until I got that call. The tone of the representative was enough to chill my blood. Her voice was tense, like she was choosing her words carefully. Mr. Carter, we detected an attempt to modify one of your accounts, she said. The request was flagged as suspicious because the signature doesn't match the one we have on file, and we hadn't received any prior communication from you. I stayed silent for a few seconds, trying to understand. What kind of modification? I finally asked. Someone tried to add another person as a joint account holder, she replied. I felt a tightness in my chest. My whole body tensed. That's impossible. I didn't authorize anything. This is fraud. I want it blocked immediately. The employee, calm and professional, responded, we've already frozen access and documented the attempt, but I recommend going to the police to file a formal report. I hung up, grabbed my keys, and went straight to the nearest police station. My voice didn't shake as I gave my statement. I explained everything in detail and requested to file a report for attempted identity theft. They gave me a case number. As I walked out of the building, I had that uncomfortable feeling that this was just the beginning. At home, I turned on my computer and checked my credit report. My worst suspicion was confirmed. There were 2 recent inquiries, both flagged as suspicious. Someone had tried to open a joint credit card in my name and Madison Price's. I didn't hesitate. I called my lawyer, Jason Miller, a meticulous and calm man, the kind who always finds the right words even in chaos. Jason, I've got a more serious problem. Someone tried to open joint accounts using my information. I'm almost certain who it was. Do you have proof or documents? He asked immediately. Yes. The bank informed me of the attempt, and I've already filed a police report. Perfect, he said. Save everything, emails, records, dates. If this escalates, it'll serve as evidence of deliberate intent to access your finances. It protects you legally if they try to file some absurd lawsuit later. I hung up and spent the rest of the day reviewing every detail of my accounts, like I was searching for cracks in a dam about to burst. 2 days later, on Saturday, Madison showed up at my house unannounced. It was the first time I'd seen her since the ultimatum, and I admit, her appearance shocked me. Her makeup was smudged, hair disheveled, deep circles under her eyes. She didn't look like the same woman who had spoken with arrogance weeks earlier. She knocked 3 times. Dylan, please, just 5 minutes, she pleaded. 5, I said finally. But you're not coming in. We stood on the porch. The tension was palpable. She lowered her gaze, took a deep breath, and began to speak. I shouldn't have given you that ultimatum. I know it was a mistake, and my mother had a lot to do with it. She put ideas in my head. I just wanted us to feel secure before marriage. And that justifies falsifying documents and manipulating bank accounts? I asked, calmly. Madison blinked, confused. What are you talking about? Someone tried to add you to my bank account by forging my signature. And they tried to open a joint credit card with your name and mine. It was you.